creepy, and cool TikToks that will blow your mind. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go!
Disclaimer: this video is for entertainment purposes only. Please do your own research, as these clips haven't been fact-checked.
Why did God give you cancer? Because God allowed it, right? Because God is in control.
Because he chose me.
And why did he choose you?
Because I'm a special boy.
You're a special boy. You are. But you've been through so much pain. Why did God say yes to that?
Because he chose me to do it.
And are you mad at God? At all?
No.
Why?
Because I'm glad that he chose me and not one of like Maddie or Emma.
Why?
Because then they're gonna have to go through this.
And you don't want that.
The maturity of this kid. Genuine faith comes when you are able to rejoice in the midst of trials. Praise God even through suffering.
Let me tell y'all one thing. You better stop playing with the spiritual realm and thinking movies is just movies and nothing can jump out that screen, because you're going to find yourself in a lot of I'm not telling you what to do. I saw the movie. I wouldn't suggest you see the movie. What I'm telling you is this. That movie Deliverance, that is not a movie that you want to play in your house. That is not a movie that you want to play in your house. Let me say this to you again. That is not a movie that you want to play in your house. I came in last night, maybe around 1, 2, 3 maybe, and I put that movie on. And since young, I always loved me some horror movies. I love them. I watch them. I laugh at them. But let me tell you something. This movie right here is a little bit different. And the reason I say it's a little bit different because it messed with my spirit. More so, today, I was sitting down and I'm like, let me watch that movie again. Because I like to go back and watch movies and see what I missed. And my spirit said, don't watch that movie in here again. Do not watch that movie in here again. Then I got to digging. And I see that the people who were making this movie were going through certain complications. I see that the people who were involved with this movie, some of the people passed away. I see that even Monique went through certain complications after making this movie. I see that they hired a priest to be on the set. Nah, man. Come on, man. You got to realize that these people are putting these things here for a reason. And once you realize that, you'll be good. Listen, you're an adult. You can do what you want to do. But I tell you this. I don't think it's the right move to watch that movie. Pay attention.
Long as you know God and your faith is strong, can nothing in this world hurt you. The blood of Christ is powerful, and I believe in that power. Look at that. Best thing about Burning Man is you don't have to go. Come to Bali instead. You love it and enjoy it.
I feel like when people say evil, they just say it to say it. But I watched some of the King Von documentary. This was dead ass evil. He was dead ass a force of darkness, bro. Look at all these people, bro. At some point, you just gotta admit he was doing this shit for the love of the game. He had money, you had fame. You could have escaped this life and you just wanted it at some point. This is crazy. King Von, you killed someone named Man. Do you know how insane that is? That's like a platinum achievement in the hood, bro. You completed the game, you're a completionist. Not only did you have real life gang members being actually scared of you, saying that you were a salty spittoon attendee, but you had Charleston White say you were Satan's strongest soldier. That man gave you an anime moniker. You were so evil, bro. That's crazy. How dangerous must you be for people to say that the community needed it, bro? This was a necessity to betterment, bro. They're talking like the person who did it saved the Soul Society. That is insane. The most unfortunate part about this all, though, is the fact that Boondocks isn't still around to make an episode about this. This episode would go triple platinum. I need a King Von Boondocks episode, bro.
He was a force of darkness that could rap. You live by a sword, you die by a sword.
Hey, what's going on, neighbor? I know you just left, but I thought I'd give you a heads up. HOA guy was over here snooping around your yard like usual. Then he went around the side of the house and went into your gate. He was back there for about 5-10 minutes. Not sure what he was up to, but if you do have cameras back there, you might want to check them, see what's going on. Appreciate it. If you have any questions, you know where to find me. Have a good one.
Is that him? What he's doing? Can you charge him? I mean, you have a proof. In America, anyone can go to your property, even though if it's a cop.
This is one of the rudest things that you can do while you're talking to someone face to face. This is everyday etiquette number 78. So you're in a conversation with somebody, actually face to face, and you guys are talking and you're conversing, and maybe you've been talking the whole time, but now it's time for someone else to talk. And as soon as they start talking, you do this. And you go, I'm listening, go ahead.
Oh no.
No, keep talking, I'm listening. That has to be one of the rudest things that you can do when you're face to face with somebody. When somebody is talking to you, give them eye contact, listen, validate what they're saying, because that is what great people do.
Agreed. But don't forget all the ADD and ADHD people out there. Just saying. Ooh, 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 ooh. Wow. Oh my goodness.
I've never seen tornado. Oh my God.
Which is more dangerous, hurricane or tornado? Drop a comment.
Whatever you do, do not look up the most cursed account on TikTok right now. This is honestly like the most disturbing thing I've ever seen and heard about. Like, what the hell? This is real. This is not something out of a horror film. This guy is real and reportedly goes out in the town, out around his daily life, actually dressed up like this. Guy's known as Smart Schoolboy 9. There's multiple accounts. Don't look them up. There was a documentary released on this the other day that people are going crazy about. This guy's reportedly had a lot of things of younger people. Also apparently videos of him just out in the town chasing people and in parks chasing people. But it's pure nightmare fuel. Like, honestly, what the... Apparently he's being investigated by the police and lives up in the north of the UK, but I'm not 100% sure. But all of this is just really, really weird. So I guess see if we can do some more digging, hit that follow button, I'll keep you updated.
Exactly. How is that scary? It's just weird.
Is anyone else like too aware? Like, I'm too aware that this is all temporary, this is all part of the human experience, and that nothing matters and that everything is subconscious programming and everything is made up. Like the days of the week, that's made up. Monday, someone decided this day is called Monday, this day is called Tuesday. It's all made up. Like humans made everything up. Like money, it's just made up. It doesn't mean anything. Like there are so many different things, like road signs, the street names. Like somebody just decided this street is named that name. Like it's so stupid. Like I'm just, it's really hard for me to live my life and just be a normal person because I'm just too aware. I'm always seeing things from a background perspective. Like I'm seeing everything. I'm seeing through the programming, seeing through the matrix. Does anyone else know what I'm saying, or am I just crazy? Please help me out.
No, you're not alone. This is called nihilism. And you start to find things quite funny after a while, but you're definitely not alone.
It happened in this backyard. The family had it all set up. The father put this tent as a decoy, and he had that camera right there that was rolling, so it would capture the moment the man walked into the backyard. And he set up a family sting operation. When Jeremy Dwayne Gibson arrived at this home around 12:30 last Thursday morning, he probably didn't expect this surprise.
Ooh.
He was tackled to the ground by 3 men, his hands and feet bound with zip ties. The teenage girl he allegedly thought was in that tent turned out to be a grown woman. Gibson recently began sending Facebook messages and nude pictures to his daughter. You think he knew she was 15? Yes. The dad says he was tipped off to his daughter's online chats through an app that he was using called Family Time. That enabled him to monitor his daughter's cell phone.
He was messaging her and encouraging her to meet him, kind of setting up a situation to where she would lose her virginity with him.
So this dad filed a police report, but later that day he saw messages indicating Gibson was meeting his daughter at the family's house that night. So he hatched the plan.
Did they talk to the daughter? I would have taken that phone away so quickly.
So this is the actual basement where 200 demons were coming out of in Latoya Amon's Indiana rental home. If you don't know what I'm talking about, there's a movie going crazy viral right now. It's on Netflix and it's called The Deliverance.
Rebuke you, Satan, in the name of Jehovah.
Now, it is based on a true story that the Amons family went through in 2011 in this home right here. Look at the window. The Amons family recalled seeing shadowy figures just like that one pacing around in the living room. But there were so many other creepier things that happened in the home. In this interview, Latoya talks about how she witnessed her child levitating over their bed and speaking in a really deep voice.
This is the woman who lived in the House of Horrors with her 3 children before Zach Bagans bought it. Latoya Ammons fought back tears when she told us how they fled in terror after her daughter was raised right off her bed. She says the demons sounded like this.
We've waited 5 months. He walked up the wall and did the backwards flip.
How did everybody in the hospital react to your son walking up the wall?
They took off and they ran.
Fun fact. The scene where she was speaking in tongues isn't scripted. They had to call a priest because it was getting so too serious.
Imagine if the punishment for murder wasn't executions, but instead numerous amputations being done to the person. So this man here is Willie Bingham. He had just been found guilty of unaliving a young girl and essaying her. While in his cell, he's approached by a man who pretty much explains Willie's fate to him, tells him that he's going to face a series of amputations, and the severity of these amputations pretty much depend on the family of the victim and how far they're willing to go. Willie requests to just be offed, but that request is denied, and he's forced to have his right hand cut off, and then he has to give lectures to teens talking about violent crimes and why you shouldn't commit them. And as time goes on, he's forced to give more lectures and more lectures, all the while he's literally being picked apart piece by piece. He loses his left arm, both legs, a kidney, and a lung. Pretty much when he didn't think it could get any worse, it got worse, and he had his man part cut off. And then pretty much after this, he loses his will to live, not even speaking a word after this. After this, he faces one last surgery where he loses the tip of his tongue, his nose, both ears, and an eye. And all the while the victim's family was allowed to watch, but after numerous surgeries go on and on, only the dad is left watching this final surgery. And by the end, Willie is left in a zombie-like state, not being able to hear, see, taste, smell, or even move, as he's wheelchair bound, left looking at the ceiling.
If I'm not mistaken, in the movie, in the end, it's found he was innocent.
Most extreme beauty standards in the world. China. Foot binding.
Ooh, yeah, I saw that. Oh my goodness.
Myanmar. Neck extensions.
I need that for my neck.
Japan. Black teeth.
Now that's crazy.
Ethiopia. Lip plates.
Oh, dude.
Japan. Yiba.
That looks kind of cute.
Malawi. Chiseled teeth.
Oh no. Zombie.
Because now the Conjuring House is under the pressure and scrutiny of a lot of people who feel like they were treated, even us, definitely felt like we were being penned in or gagged. Really, we were being told what we could and could not say.
Yeah, it was insane.
So today, I don't know if anybody who's listening to this podcast is aware of the drama that is going on with the Conjuring House right now. I have sifted through all of the tea for you, and it is served, and it is very hot. Also worth mentioning, the Conjuring House has since deleted their whole Instagram. Not that they followed anybody, they only followed Taylor Swift for some odd reason.
I knew that.
Yeah.
Good on you.
So with the post, that really spurred the public attention of what was going on. It, like I said, has now been deleted. But Jason did get a screenshot of it. And so I can read it to you, what it said. And like I said, if you want to go see or anything that we're referencing, go watch Jason's video on his channel. So as you know, TCH, the Conjuring House, is the most haunted location in the world.
Whoa.
Which is that's a loaded
Heard that
statement, but we attract hundreds of people from around the globe per month to Burrillville, Rhode Island to partake in one of our experiences. And mind you, this is a direct quote.
We didn't get that offer.
No.
Just saying.
Couldn't book that one.
We really do not care about people who abuse and attack people. We consider them evil and wicked people. We now have the kindest, hardworking people with positive outlooks on our staff, which I believe is only her right now because the entire team walked.
Wow.
All the employees, Aaron Bush, Cody Desbins, Satori Hawes, Steve Mills, and Reed Bottiger, which was our tour guide.
Oh.
Reed.
Yeah.
Right.
They all turned in their joint resignation letter.
Why is he saying drama in the beginning?
I'm 60 years old, and this is one of my greatest anti-aging secrets. Take a listen.
Get out of here.
Do you know why some people age faster than others within the same age group? The reason is that real age is not determined by the date of birth. It is determined by the length of telomeres. Nobel Prize laureate Professor Blackburn studied telomeres and discovered that the cells of our body are constantly replaced by new ones. But the problem is that the number of cell divisions is limited, and the number of these divisions is determined by the length of telomeres. With each cell division, telomeres are damaged, and their length decreases. When they can no longer shorten, the cell cannot divide, and you start to get gray hair, wrinkles, and a weakened immune system. Professor Blackburn studied a group of mothers who had to take care of their children for a long time, over 4 years, and found that the longer and more intense the stress period, the shorter the telomeres, and the faster the aging process. The main factor influencing the length of telomeres is the emotions caused by stress. If the emotion is negative, it directly affects their length. A positive attitude towards problems preserves your youth and health.
I'm 60, and a lot of people think I've discovered the fountain of youth.
You're not 60.
In truth, what I've actually discovered is how to unlearn all the negative behaviors that many of us engage in, ranging from what we eat, how much we move every day, weight-bearing exercises, the types of supplements that we take, our sleep hygiene. But in this video, I want to focus on emotions, that the way we feel and the way we think has a direct impact on inflammation, and that inflammation has a strong impact on how we age and also diseases. I've trained myself, and it's not easy, I've trained myself not to have an anger response. Instead of anger, I choose sadness, because scientific studies have shown that sadness does not have the impact that anger does on our bodies. Truth is, I'm not perfect. I haven't experienced anger in years.
Cap, we need to see some IDs, but I agree with you with the anger stuff.
This dentist puts a recording
Oh.
device inside his patient's tooth, and as soon as he hears the audio, he instantly calls the police. In Dubai, Dr. Walker was a 55-year-old dentist. A girl named Julia, who was 6 years old, had been losing one tooth every day, claiming they were falling out by themselves. Dr. Walker found it suspicious because the teeth were coming out in order, which shouldn't happen. Julia's parents were clueless about what was happening. One day, when Julia came in crying with 2 more missing teeth, Dr. Walker decided to act. He had a prototype recording device disguised as a tooth, which he could use to catch what was going on. So the next time Julia came in, Dr. Walker replaced one of her teeth with the special device. 3 days later, he got an audio signal from it. He couldn't believe what he heard. Press the plus button to see what happens next in part 2.
This is AI, okay? YouTube wanted me to say that. Hey, on the part 2, the doctor heard, subscribe to Brosky Ray.
Y'all in this church, she did not mess with and she did not like you. I don't even know why you here. Because you didn't mess with her. Oh my God. And on top of that, you talk bad about her. I don't even know why you here. Because you got a lot to say and ain't came and did nothing for her. I'm just waiting for you to say something because I got a Henny and a Jimmy waiting on you.
Girl, you.
You don't get to choose who comes to your funeral. Everyone is invited. This is so American.
Following video was a recording of a soldier that was in Iraq deployed in 2010 in May. He was FaceTiming his family and he had some strange experiences. This is what he experienced.
Trish, I love you. I wish I could be home with you too.
What?
I know we.
No way.
Yeah, bro ran out of that room. It looks like he's in a chew. Yeah, I would request to be moved to a different room like immediately if it was possible. Probably wouldn't have a choice, but that would be one of those. I probably wouldn't be sleeping in there that night. That's for damn sure.
I heard a lot of ghost stories of feds in Afghanistan and Iraq.
4 members of Britain's richest family have been jailed for doing this to their workers. Prakash Hinduja and his wife were each sentenced to 4 years and 6 months in prison. Their son and his wife each received 4-year sentences. The scandal unfolded when it was revealed that the family brought workers from India, took their passports when they arrived to work in their Switzerland mansion, and forced them to sleep in the basement. Just for context, the family's fortune is estimated at £37 billion. A Swiss court found the family guilty of exploiting their Indian staff and providing unauthorized employment. One woman was allegedly paid as little as £6.19 to work 18-hour days, 7 days a week. The workers couldn't even leave the house without permission, and one lawyer claimed that they were treated so badly that the family spent more on their pet dog than on their employees. The family's legal team tried to defend them by stating that workers were still treated with respect and provided with accommodation. But what do you think?
Will they actually serve those sentences in an actual jail?
On March 2022, a home security
My
camera
goodness.
in San Antonio, Texas captured footage of a man knocking on a stranger's door around 4:30 p.m. The footage shows the man wearing gloves and holding a pry bar.
Ooh. What are you doing?
The man ended up running away after he heard a woman screaming inside the house. Sebastian Beltran, a 21-year-old man, was arrested several days later. He was charged with attempted burglary. But the story doesn't end here, guys. Police are still searching for a second suspect regarding this break-in. If we go back to the video, you can clearly see the first suspect looking back as if he were communicating with another person. Police believe that this person was being used as a lookout. Guys, if I get any updates regarding this situation, I'll let you guys know. So like and follow to stay updated.
What is wrong with people? This is so sad.
Hello guys, it's Oля, and now I will show you what you can pay in supermarket in Moscow for 10 euro. It's not expensive, but it's not a cheap supermarket. This is a good middle class store. 3 kilo of potatoes, 99 cents. Tandoor hot bread, 60 cents. Chicken near 3 euros. Cheese near 1 euros. Milk 80 cents. Sunflower oil 1 euro 50 cents. Pasta 75 cents. Fresh local tomato 1 euro 29 cents per kilo. Total cost 54 cents. Mushrooms 1 euro 30 cents. Total cost is 10 euro 24 cents.
Yes.
The question is, how much is minimum wage there?
Someone would be crazy to try to step up to a guy who's 6'8" and 300 pounds.
There's a lot of crazies out there.
So you're saying that this is not uncommon?
No. I mean, it happened to me today. Went to the signing today, and there was a 7-Eleven, and this guy was out front. He basically said, yeah, you tough, you can fight. And I was like, I don't fight. And then he's like, well, I do. And then he like, tried to get in my face.
What?
I just walked past him. I wasn't going to start anything. Yeah, I go in, I buy some energy drinks. As I'm checking out, 5 cop cars are outside. Ask people that work there, I'm like, what happened? Well, I guess the guy's been threatening everybody that's been walking through the whole day.
Oh my gosh.
So they called the cops and they said, this is LA, so usually the cops don't show up.
True strength is self-control, kindness, knowing you are capable of great violence but choosing to walk away.
I want to tell you guys a very weird story. This is Dr. Adam. He runs a YouTube channel called In Search of the Tribe. He is right now miles away from civilization, looking for a lost tribe in the hills of California. Now, one day, this man set up a whole bunch of trail cams, miles away from civilization, in the mountains, in the hills of California, in search of this tribe. I don't know the name of the tribe. I'm very vague on exactly what he is searching or looking for, but he comes across something. He goes to go get his trail cams, and he cannot find one of them. Eventually he does, and sifts through hours upon hours of footage until he comes across one thing. I'm about to show you what Mr. Adams discovered. Warning, I cannot confirm nor deny if this is real, but what I will tell you that this man is praised for being one of the legit people on YouTube, and he isn't one who makes fake videos. So warning, what you're about to see may disturb you and may have you contemplating, are we alone? And what the is in those woods?
Here's the footage.
No. Is this for real?
The sounds of footsteps can be heard in the darkness near the trail cam, and then, slowly, a horrifying figure emerges from the darkness and heads right for the trail cam. Whoever, or whatever this is, then grabs the camera and appears to make off with it. After watching this quote, pretty unsettling imagery and activity, Dr. Adams says that he is a little nervous about going back down to investigate, and I wonder why.
What the is that? Like, what is that? Now, I'm gonna say when I watched this last night, I immediately want to share this with y'all to hear what maybe some of my followers would say. But I believe this, and I'm gonna keep it real. I like how people defended the doctor, saying he's legit because, you know, he doesn't put up things like this. This is one of the strangest videos he's ever put up. And he is a man based upon his own research and takes his work very seriously. But going through some people's comments, I don't scare easily. But this was terrifying. And he, like I said, the doctor said, I'm a little nervous about going back down to investigate. This was in April of this year. So what did Dr. Adams come across? Did he find the tribe he's looking for? Are they cannibals? Who are the alien? I don't know. All I know is that is not and I don't know what the that is. Peace to the gods.
You know, The Hills Have Eyes was based on true events. Same with Chainsaw Massacre.
This tribe in West Africa called the Dogon tribe, discovered by the Western world until like 1936, I believe, by this one anthropologist. What he found weird was this tribe in Africa, they have this story of these star people coming down to them and teaching them this knowledge. Had these drawings of the star Sirius. So Sirius A is the main star, right? Mm-hmm. They also had drawn Sirius B, which is a smaller star that you cannot see with the human eye. In fact, we didn't discover it until later 1900s when we created the radio telescope. We didn't know that existed until we created this telescope. But they knew about it. That started the exact location.
Yeah, how? I know, that's what I'm saying. They've got to have an answer for it.
Or light pollution wasn't as bad as it.
No, you literally can't see it with your, it's so small.
Some people would say that's an argument for young Earth. Like the reason they can see things closer is if there is things expanding more rapidly than they think they are.
Sirius C, it's an even smaller one, and I don't think they've discovered it yet, but the tribe is like, oh, it's up there. These gods came from, was this constellation.
Alexa, why should I vote for Donald Trump?
I cannot provide content that promotes a specific political party or a specific candidate.
Alexa, why should I vote for Kamala Harris?
While there are many reasons to vote for Kamala Harris, the most significant may be that she is a strong candidate with a proven track record of accomplishment. As the first female vice president, Harris has already broken down a major gender barrier, and her career in politics has been characterized by a commitment to progressive ideals and a focus on helping disenfranchised communities.
I suppose that's the kind of near neutral and banal propaganda that many people query. It's hardly extremist, but it's the kind of normalization of a particular political purview, i.e. that in order to save democracy, you have to vote for Kamala Harris in November. Well, actually, if you really care about your republic, it seems that you have to consider the new alliance that's emerging between Trump, Bobby Kennedy, Tulsi Gabbard. Could this be the most powerful anti-establishment alliance in history?
Alexa is now sleeping in the garage.
Not manufacturing anything at all. It's printing money. And this has been one of their weapons globally. The monetary system, the global monetary system, controlled by dollar and euro, has been used. Sanctions here, sanctions there, sanctions there, grabbing this account, grabbing that account, has been one of their tools. This is not going to continue indefinitely. And we need a new financial architecture globally, not controlled by euro, not controlled by the dollar, not controlled by other currencies.
It's crazy that America demonized Putin, but he is becoming countries in Africa's ally.
Documentary deeply disturbed me to my core. And I can't wrap my head around how somebody could be so evil that they would mess with a grieving family. In 1994, a 13-year-old boy disappeared from San Antonio, Texas. 3 years later, he's discovered alive and well in Europe. If you love documentaries, make sure to hit follow because I post daily and you'll never have to search for something to watch. This boy, Nicholas Barkley, goes to the police in Europe where they alert the family in the US. Nicholas's sister flies to Europe to confirm that it's him, and when she sees him, she recognizes him immediately. So he's given US citizenship where he's then flown back to live with his family. Sounds like a happy story, right? Wrong. This man is not Nicholas Barkley. He just lives with this family and they think he's their son and he's not their son. And slowly as time goes on, things start to get very scary and the family becomes suspicious of him. This documentary is so messed up and the guy is interviewed throughout the entire thing like a sociopath. Let me know what you think about this in the comments.
It's called The Imposter.
New Yorkers, they want to put Wi-Fi on the trains. Have they ever walked past a Link NYC? How people make this their homes with the free Wi-Fi, phone call, and charging ports? You want to take this and throw it in the subway? There's going to be video games, people streaming,
No way.
all in the subway. If you do this, you might as well just put couches down there because everyone sleeps down there anyway. So now you want to give them Wi-Fi. I swear to you, if it's up to me, every train will be like the shuttle. You got to stand. I'm starting to believe you don't even take the train. And these new trains they got are all connected. You can walk all through the train. This gap is useful. This is the emergency bathroom where people smoke their cigarettes. I was on a train one day, and a man took down his pants and did a whole number 2. And people ran. Imagine that on this train.
No
to the
way.
gates before I get drop kicked on the tracks.
Nobody paints a better picture of NYC than you do. Well done, sir.
It's the U.S. Army's busiest airfield in Asia, and it's the biggest U.S. military base overseas. It's just a few miles south of here, and we're talking about Camp Humphreys. It's about 60 miles away from the border with North Korea, and with a population of more than 41,000 people, it's bigger than some American cities. And in a way, it also feels like an American city. It has 4 schools, a water park, a basketball gymnasium, a theater, a golf course, a mall, a Pizza Hut, a Burger King, and it sells Krispy Kreme donuts. But kids here are also immersed in Korean culture. It actually started as an airfield built by the Japanese military, occupying Korea more than 100 years ago. But as an American base, it's now tripled in size over the past 20 years, vastly changing the landscape. All of this cost more than $10 billion, most of which was paid for by South Korea. And while the closest American territory to Humphreys is actually Guam, nearly 2,000 miles away, for many, Humphreys feels hardly far from home.
Forgot to mention, it has a Texas Roadhouse.
Here is a secret that not many Christians know. Did you know that you can have a personal covenant with God Almighty that gives him the legal right to release blessings in your life, show you favor, open doors that no man can close? Now, first you need to know this. Jesus, by his sacrifice, brought into being what we call the new covenant. It is the new everlasting covenant of peace and wholeness. This new covenant includes inheritance, healing, deliverance, and every blessing that you could possibly think of. Now, in order to release the inheritance and the blessings in your life, it requires your faith. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you this personal covenant that you can make with God and also release your faith. Activate your faith. In Malachi chapter 2 verse 5, God says that this is my covenant that I make with you. On your part, it is for you to fear the Lord and to honor God. On God's part, it is for God to release and provide peace and life for you. Now that peace and life includes prosperity, healing, wholeness, deliverance, divine protection, and a whole lot of good stuff. What I want you to do now is listen up very carefully to this prayer and confession. Why? It will set you up in this personal covenant that you can make with God. Got it? Now, if you agree with it, then I want you to take it, make it your own, and declare it before God. And then also, in the comment section, I just want you to say yes, meaning I agree, and I'm going to do that. Okay? Here we go. Father God, I receive grace. Grace to consecrate my life and myself to you. I receive grace to be consistent, to be diligent, to be disciplined, and to have a strong desire for the things of God. I receive grace and I commit to walk in the fear of the Lord, holiness, and brokenness. Father, I believe that your mercy and grace responds to my commitment by releasing blessings, open doors, favor, increase, anointing, and even encounters in my life. I thank you that as of this moment, as I release my faith and as I step into this new personal covenant, that there is an open heaven over my life.
Amen.
Now, if you believe and you agree with this prayer confession, then make it your own and declare it and speak it before God. And one other thing, in the comment section, just say yes. And by that, that tells me you are making this confession and this prayer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pray for you and stand with you. Now, until we meet in the next post, stay strong and stay blessed.
First, you need to receive Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. But faith takes practice that includes through every minute, be they troubles, joy, broken relationship, finances, etc. Practice faith on every level and chapter of life's journey.
Let me tell you about one of the worst Black history figures of all time. Meet Isaiah Montgomery, a pathetic sellout and enemy to his own people. I love Black folks, but when it comes to this guy, let me say I'm the biggest hater. Born into slavery in 1847, Isaiah Montgomery was special. He learned how to read and write while enslaved and was even given special access to his master's library. That's an important detail for later. After emancipation, Isaiah uses all of those book smarts to start a business and to buy a lot of land in Mississippi, where he founded the all-Black town of Mound Bayou, a town that still exists to this day. But this is where things take a turn in Isaiah's story. In August of 1890, an all-white group of Mississippi leaders called for a statewide constitutional convention. Their explicit goal was to figure out how to stop Black men from being able to vote in the state of Mississippi. And as it happened, the only Black delegate was Mr. Isaiah Montgomery. Now, it's important to know that Mississippi was a majority Black state at the time. These white men knew they wanted to prevent Black men from being able to vote, hopefully forever. But they needed to design a racist law without using racial language, something they're still doing today, by the way. So in 1890, they came up with this sinister plan. They would create a literacy test. Since only about 40% of Black people in the country could read in 1890, they could use this test for their desired outcome in Mississippi without violating the U.S. Constitution, effectively ensuring that Black men would not be able to vote across the state. And despite that fact, Isaiah Montgomery, a traitor, cast his vote along with white supremacists in favor of the racist literacy test, claiming that his support for the law was to purify the ballot by only allowing literate people like himself to vote. A Black newspaper wrote this about Isaiah Montgomery: "It would be better had such a man never been born, much less have been elected to represent the Negroes of Mississippi." Isaiah Montgomery lived the rest of his life as a darling of white politicians and forever reviled by his own people. One thing's for sure, proximity to whiteness can be intoxicating.
And this is why I love TikTok, because I did not know this.
Everyone I saw in the last 20 years of business, the guys that change, they change after something shitty happened to them. But the guys that change intentionally, and every 90 days to 180 days, you don't recognize them because they recreate themselves. You're almost like, I saw this guy 6 months ago. He's not the same. You don't see him for 6 months. Man, he's changed again. You don't see him 6 months. Now, this guy's somebody. He's going places. Because every 6 months, he's a new human being. He's still the same. He's humble. But there's something that's going on with this guy. He's different. That's a person that's changing intentionally. Not changing because the market's forcing you to change. You're changing because you're setting the pace for everybody else. If you're able to do that, it's not easy to do.
Interesting. Always enlightening listening to people that continuously want to grow.
Person wants $15,000. The problem is I have to get it to California. So I'm going to LaGuardia Airport in New York. I have $15,000. Talk about like going from one innocent phone call to having it like you put some down your shirt and your pockets and your socks. Now it's before the machines that we have today. I walked through, it didn't go off. I went to the restroom. I put it back in the bank envelopes. I'm like, all right, let me just get on the plane. It's 2007, so I guess there was still, TSA would eventually, was still checking people as they walked on the flights just because 9/11 was 6 years before. And so they're stopping people randomly. Can we just search your carry-ons? And I saw that. I thought they're there for me. Like, why else would they be doing this? I must have been on the cameras in here or something. Oh, shit, what am I going to say? And so I don't make eye contact. Group 3 is called the board. That's my group. I'm walking on. They're like, sir, could we see your carry-on? The female TSA agent takes it. And I had my laptop, and I had $15,000 in cash in there. And she looks at the other guy, and she's like, have a nice flight. She didn't say anything.
Why would they stop you? I thought you were legally allowed to carry any amount of cash, and you're not required to declare anything for domestic travel.
The 5 scariest pictures ever taken. Viewer discretion is advised. Number 5, this photo of Edward Mordrake, the man born with 2 faces. Although a complete medical marvel, he was tormented by voices he said was coming from his other head, and sadly ended his life at a very young age. And this is a picture of his skeleton. Number 4, the face of a soldier with shell shock during World War I. World War I was when we first started to realize the psychological impacts of war, and what we now call PTSD, we then called shell shock, as seen in this picture. Number 3, this sculpture from 1943. It's called the Passe Muraille, which means the walker through walls. What's interesting about this image is it's based on a short story about someone who could walk through walls, based around the human desire to break free from all the, bullshit of society. But what's interesting is the person depicted in the sculpture is still trapped. Number 2, the skeletal remains of a Soviet soldier from World War II. This one's beautifully terrifying because although the soldier is completely evaporated, the tools of war like his helmet and his boots and his gun are still completely intact, showing that even though human life is short-lived, war is forever. By the way, if you like these kind of videos, please drop me a follow. Number 1, in 1962, this doctor was on an expedition to the Antarctic, and he was the only doctor around, and suddenly diagnosed himself with acute appendicitis and needing urgent surgery. No one else was around to perform, so with no anesthetic and no help, he had to cut himself open, remove his own appendix, and then also tie himself back up. And the craziest thing is, he fucking nailed it.
But no way the first one is real.
I'm in Walmart right now, and I've seen some videos on this before, and I was wondering why, for the life of me, that I'm in here and I feel irritated. Like, all of a sudden, I'm just irritated, tired, I feel heavy. Like, the kids are in here with me, and we all feel it. So I'm wrapping things up and getting out, but I'm just wondering if anybody feels the energy when they come in here. I don't normally shop in here, but today I'm in here to get some things, and it's so heavy in here. It's just crazy. So we're about to put on some worship music on my phone, wrap up what we're doing, and get out of the store. So I'm just wondering if anybody's ever experienced this. So we're back in the car. Interesting thing, when I was leaving the store, I had my music playing on my phone, and the guy that was checking me out, because they check receipts, was like, is that worship music you're playing? He had a heavy accent. He might have been Hispanic. He had his mask on, and I said, yeah, and he's like, yeah, like he just is nodding his head. And I said, I have to play it. I said, do you feel the heaviness that I feel? Not expecting him to say anything or even know what I was talking about. And he said, yeah. And I was like, it's heavy in here, right? He's like, it's heavy in here. And I was like, I have to play the music. And he's like, God bless you. He's like, and then, he was kind of looking at the kids, not in a weird way, but he was looking at the kids. And then I said, yeah, even the kids are feeling it. And he's like, God bless your children. He's like, continue praising. I was hearing this part. He said, continue praising and raise those generations. I think that's what he said. He said, raise those generations. God bless you. And he's like, yeah, he's like, it's the spirit, the atmosphere in here. He just kept saying the atmosphere. And he's like, yeah. And he was nodding his head. So I'm not crazy. I already knew I wasn't. When you have the gift of discernment, or when you are able to feel in the spiritual, these are the experiences that you will go through. And it's not that I'm possessed, or maybe I'm oppressed, but when you have people walking around, and I feel Walmart is evil. I'm sorry. I think it's evil because you have all these different emotions. I was feeling depression, anger, frustration, irritation, anxiety. I couldn't even explain. It was just this heavy feeling, and everything, like my kid brushed up against me, and I'm like, I felt like saying, don't touch me, get off of me. It was just that irritation. And as I'm out the store right now, I'm in the car, I feel none of that. My head started hurting, and I said, we gotta go. So some of you may think I'm nuts, but most of you will know exactly what I'm talking about. And I'm going to tell you, that's the last time I'm going in Walmart, or I need to pray up before I go in Walmart, because I did not expect that. Now, when we came out, we stood at the car before we even entered into this truck. We stood and we prayed, and I didn't care who was seeing us or who was watching. I laid my hands on my kids and I covered them. We prayed. My daughter prayed. We prayed over each other. I have my anointing oil, and whatever it was is gone. Whatever, I was feeling is gone. So be careful out there. God bless.
I think it's the energy of others worrying about what they can or can't afford to buy for their families. What do you think?
I haven't been hooked on a TV show like this in a very long time. Every time I tell somebody about it, they haven't heard of it, and then they get hooked on it. So obviously I have to tell you guys. If you're always looking for something to watch, make sure to hit follow because I post daily. This is from the creators of Lost, and if you liked Lost, you're going to like this. This is like the horror version of Lost. It's about this town that people randomly end up in and they can't get out of it. At night, people come out of the woods and they try to trick you into letting them into your house. If you let them in, they f you up. Obviously, nothing can hold a flame to Lost, but this comes pretty close. It's so addictive because you're always waiting for the next nightfall to see what will happen. You guys know that I mostly post about documentaries, but this is so good. It's been taking away from my documentary time. Let me know what you think about this in the comments.
Wow.
This place is known as the Killing House. It's the drone school of Ukraine's 3rd Assault Brigade. What they do here is they train the drone pilots of the future. Now, drone technology is developing extremely fast on the battlefields here in Ukraine. At the beginning of the war, they were used to scout out enemy positions. Then some started carrying some smaller munitions, and now you have drones that can even attack tanks. One of the things that they actually have here at this drone school is a mock main battle tank that students learn how to attack with drones that carry such munitions. The school here says that some 1,500 students have already graduated from the Killing House drone school, but they also say that only about 30% of them immediately join the military. They say a lot of people simply want the skills, so in case they get mobilized, they can become drone pilots and contribute to the war effort. All of this as the Ukrainians understand that they have far fewer people than the Russians, far fewer military tanks and armored vehicles than the Russians, but they believe that drones can be a big equalizer on the battlefield to help sustain their effort.
So I know I live in Sedona, all right? The clouds are so crazy here that you just look at them and some days you're just like, is that even real? Because they look like creatures. But what I'm about to show you isn't just about creatures. It's something else in the clouds that is not the sun and it's not the moon. Check this out. There's the sun, obviously, right there. There's the sun. Bright, yep, and white. Like, I don't remember it, but what is that? What's that? What's that? What's that? What's that right there?
Ooh.
That's not the moon. Okay, and it's not a reflection on my camera. I'll show you. There's another picture. This was last week. Okay, again, there's the sun. Right there. There's the sun. All right, and what is that? What the fuck is that? I mean,
Yup.
it looks like holographic plasma or one of those LED lights. It's the weirdest thing. And look at that. Look at it. It's like a tongue. It's like a dragon's tongue. It's like a jellyfish. It's I don't even know. And now look at this. Okay, wait. Right here. Yeah, what is that? Look, it's a bear. It's a bear. It's a freaking bear. Look at the ears, look at the eyes, look at the nose, and it's a bear. It's a bear. All right, now wait. Check this out. If you turn it around, right? Look at this. What is that? It's like the Monopoly Man with a mustache and a monocle. Okay, that is like an armadillo. Look at the eyes. Look at the eyes. It's so creepy. It's like an eagle meets an armadillo. And then if you just like turn it on its side, check this out. Again, look, what is that? It's right there. Okay, guys, what is that? You've got to tell me. You've got to tell me what that is. This is here in Sedona last week, and my friend saw it too. He took a bunch of pictures. So let me see. Yeah, right there. There it is. Try to get close up on it. Right there. What is it? Again, it's not the moon. The moon was on the other side and it wasn't even full. So if anybody has any idea, please write it in the comments because I think we're getting invaded.
Amazing how many people cannot tell the sun change. You know, when you're awake, you're awake.
These are Nagas from Cambodia, if you didn't know, but you probably should.
Nagas.
Because they're hiding a secret. The secret is right there. You want to know what it is? I'm going to tell you what it is. Look real close at these snakes.
It's like cobras.
They can be any variation from 1 to 12, but this one is 7, and it's 7 for a very important reason. Look at this thing. Now, those little guys look like that big circle up there. Why is that? There's 7 colors in the visible light spectrum. That's your Roy G. Biv. There's 7 octaves in music. This is a wave phenomenon. Now look close at that. Does it look like the Mayan calendar? Does it look like a rose window? Maybe it should, because we can decode all of these with cymatics. Now that particular one is a 21-fold cymatic from Angkor Wat. Let's look at another one. This one is a 6 positive or a 12-fold cymatic from Neak Pien Temple. I'm probably butchering that. Cymatics is how we visualize tones in music through water. Each tone has a glyph. The ancients had a very special way of calculating this, and I feel like you should know it. You could, if you took esoteric symbolism, a course in my mystery school that covers all kinds of ancient ways of doing things. It's called The Forge. There's 300 members in the school right now. We're having an absolute blast. And today's the last day you can get the school in my
the
books
eyes.
for
What's up with
half
the
off.
eyes? Looks like a new age stuff to me, bro.
2017 NBA Finals. Everyone's enjoying the game, then suddenly this man pops up on the screen. Everyone loses it. Why? Because his name's Chameleonaire. Y'all remember Chameleonaire? He made that song, Trying to Catch Me Riding Dirty. Right? It's called Riding, by the way, not Riding Dirty. Anyway, after this song, which was a huge hit, nobody heard anything from him. And then he pops up at a game. People was like, hold on. How do you afford them tickets? And why people were saying this is because the 2017 finals were not any ordinary finals. It was LeBron, Kyrie, and friends versus the Golden State Warriors. The tickets for those games were very expensive. And they were courtside, so Chameleonaire had a problem. The internet starts pocket watching them hard. They're like, hey bro, you're not supposed to afford that. He said, but I did though. They said, how? He said, I'd be investing. The internet said, nah,
he's
lying.
smart.
So the largest investment company in Los Angeles says, "Can we show y'all a different picture?" They say, "Yeah, that Chameleonaire. He a resident in our company because he be investing." People said, "Chameleonaire." Chameleonaire said, "They said, nah, Chameleonaire don't say too much." Now, there's still something a little odd here. To invest like he was investing, listen closely, you still needed to start out with a lot of money. Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, he was a rich rapper, and you're correct. But see, he wasn't rich because he was a rapper. He was rich because he was a record label's worst nightmare. See, rappers aren't usually rich. No matter how big the song is, they're usually in debt. Why? Because record labels are basically predatory loan companies for musicians who dangle more money than musicians have ever seen in their life in front of them. The musician goes, ah. The label goes, ah? You just have to give me all the money from all your songs. And you got to pay this money back. The musician goes, what? The label goes, huh? Just look at the contract. Don't worry about it. But Chameleonaire was different. Universal Music hit him up. They said, Chameleonaire, come sign this contract, baby. He said, what'd it say? They said, Chameleonaire said, give me that contract, little boy. Nah, we're not doing that. The label said, first of all, the TikToker made it look like we was on the phone, so that's weird. Second of all, we don't need you. The head to the label said, where you going? You know how much money Chameleonaire's music is making in Texas? Go get a deal. They said, Chameleonaire, how much you want? He said 50-50. They said 50. We be giving artists like 15%. No. The label head said, get your 50-50 sound good, Chameleonaire. So he signs a partnership with Universal Music. He then makes Riding, a song so huge it wins a Grammy and goes like 1 trillion times platinum. The label goes, oh snap, make another one. Because they're making a lot of money at this point. And Chameleonaire is making just as much, but here's where things start to get wicked. While he's making new songs, the label is telling him, no, we don't like it. Add this, remove that, we'll tell you when it's a hit. See, another thing record labels can do is not let you release music. And since you need to release a couple albums to leave the label, you can end up getting stuck. Nelly hits up Chameleonaire and says, tell him to do an audit. Chameleonaire says, do an audit. See, an audit basically forces a company or a person to show you how they're spending money. Label said, first of all, Nelly, you saying hot in here. You're not supposed to know about that. Second of all, we in trouble. And oh, they was in trouble. Chameleonaire hires Jay-Z's audit lawyer and finds out that the label stole $600,000 from him. He said, label? They said, Here, take it back, but we still not releasing you from the contract. Chameleonaire said, no, that's fine. I'm just gonna tell all your artists how to do an audit. Label said, wait, the door's over there. Now, Chameleonaire doesn't snitch at the time, but he circles back and starts doing music education for artists. So at this point, he has a bunch of money and he invests in a phone music marketing company because he knew that music was going wireless. They give him a percentage of the company gets rich, they sell the company, and that's usually how investing works, and he makes more money. He invests in Lyft before it gets big, a bunch more companies, makes a bunch of money, meets a partner at the biggest investing company in Los Angeles. They invest together, and as you guess, he makes more money. I believe now he has his own tech company. But all this to say, no, these tickets probably didn't cost that much then.
Good job, Chameleonaire. Chameleonaire was riding clean, but the record labels got caught riding dirty.
Okay, breaking news, we have an update. Authorities have just released the name of the Appalachia school shooter. They said that his name is Colt Gray, and he is only 14 years old, and he was a student at the school which he then attacked. They said that as soon as police got the call, they were on scene very quickly, and when they confronted the boy, he surrendered, got on the ground, and he was arrested. The 4 dead include 2 teachers and 2 students, and there are still 9 more at hospital in various serious conditions. They say that he will be charged with murder, and they will handle him as an adult. Police currently don't know where he got the gun or how he got it into the school, and they also don't have a motive for the attack yet. All of the schools in the area will be closed for the rest of the week while they launch an investigation into it and question the shooter. I'll keep you guys updated as we know more.
Colt Gray, is that a Brawl Stars reference?
This is my nightmare right here. And if you're confused saying, well, what's wrong with this? These people look like they're having a great time. Allow me to explain. That crowd you just saw was at a film festival, and at the most prestigious of these film festivals, it's routine to give the movies a standing ovation when they're over, because the cast and crew is there watching the movie with you, so you're applauding for them. But when the Tilda Swinton movie, The Room Next Door, premiered at the Venice Film Festival, it received a 17-minute standing ovation afterward. And if you don't see the problem with that, you're not properly imagining how long 17 minutes is. So I want you to go get a clock and time this out. I want you to imagine that you attended this premiere and you watched this film and you thought, wow, that's pretty good. And then after the credits rolled, everybody around you stands up and starts applauding. You see the stars and the filmmaker, and they're standing up and graciously receiving the applause, but then people just keep clapping, and they keep clapping on, and you don't want to be the first one to stop applauding because that would be rude. No one wants to be first.
I stopped first.
So everyone just keeps clapping for a full minute, which if you've timed it out, is an eternity to stand and clap. But then 2 minutes go by, and 4 and 6, and they're still applauding. And you start to wonder if this is a prank, if everybody's in on it but you, because now 9 minutes have gone by, 10, 11, and they're still applauding. You start to wonder if some sort of mass hysteria has taken over the crowd, some strange primal herd behavior. Are people even aware of what they're doing? 13 minutes in, 14, you can never remember a time when you were not standing in this room applauding with these strangers. People start weeping around you, not because they are overcome with the emotion of the moment, but because everyone is secretly thinking the same thing, that maybe we've all died and this is hell.
17 minutes is an absurdly long time.
When you see that these two are using the XRP ledger and have partnered, there really shouldn't be a question about where we're headed. There really shouldn't be. BlackRock and JP Morgan are to facilitate 1.2 quadrillion on the XRP ledger across borders. I don't really need to tell you the power that BlackRock and JP Morgan have. Right? I don't need to tell you. Now, this really shouldn't surprise you because remember, back in August of last year, Ripple joined BlackRock and JP Morgan as a member of the leading trade association, the ISDA. Now, what this did is it paved a way for the alliance for Ripple XRP to be integrated into the 1.2 quadrillion derivatives market. And it enhances the CFT system, right? The crypto trading fund, allowing users to earn CFT tokens as rewards for transactions made using crypto. This is combining traditional finance, TradFi, with blockchain technology, bringing in a new era of cross-border payments and financial opportunities to the forefront. What does this do? This positions XRP to take full advantage of the massive derivatives market. This is going to allow for XRP to be used for payments on an unprecedented scale, potentially reshaping the financial landscape. The integration of XRP into this market is a testament to the growing acceptance of blockchain technology in TradFi, in traditional finance. So the key benefit of Ripple's expansion into the derivatives market is the enhanced role of the XRP Ledger System Crypto Trading Fund, the CFT. Customers making payments with XRP at participating merchants can earn CFT tokens as rewards. You guys, Ripple is solidifying its presence in traditional finance through its collaboration with ISDA, with BlackRock, with JP Morgan. The future of XRP is mind-blowing. Make sure you're joining me here every day for the latest on Ripple, XRP, and where they're headed with the future of the financial system.
All of these deals that we hear about, why doesn't the price of XRP reflect these deals?
Check this footage out, y'all. A mountain Bigfoot shows up while a hunter is in his blinds. And if you look closely, you can see this Sasquatch even has nostrils that's pointing down. He's checking out the hunter at this point. Amazing creature. This is a legit Sasquatch, you guys.
Not blurry enough to be a real Sasquatch.
Have you ever heard of the GATE program? No. It's a program that was started way long ago back in the 80s. It was this program that was put into schools, and basically schools would recognize certain kids. It seemed kind of random, and they would just do certain testing and reading and stuff like that. The problem with this program is that the origins of it, they are funded and created by the CIA. They would bring these kids into a windowless room, being blindfolded in these tests as well, trying to move things.
It's full on strange.
They would take trips, field trips with the GATE program
No.
outside of the school. In one instance, they took literally kids into a museum, into a room where there was a mummy. What? And they had them stay overnight with no parental supervision.
What?
Where are their parents?
I don't know, but you think about it. When you hear your kid comes home with a paperwork that says, like your kid's gifted and talented and we really want to, pull him out of class for long periods of time during the school year to learn these things, you're like, oh yeah, let's go. Why not? Give my kid a great chance to go. It's such a strange thing. And for the CIA to be involved, there has to be something malicious. These are children. These are impressionable children that could be manipulated.
That's it. We're homeschooling.
Yep.
Look at all this. Look at this. Look at all I've taken out already. I don't know if I want to peel it more. This shit fell off. I saw it wasn't this big. I ripped it up more, but I saw like $1 like that. I was like, what the I pull it. This all this came out so far. And there's more. I can see that it goes further, but I don't want to rip it more. There's gotta be more. I don't know if it's more expensive to just rip it and then fix it, but that's already a lot. Dog. Now it makes me think of there's money in other spots. Look, I don't know if you could tell, but the walls are super patched up. Right here, what is that covering? It's super hollow. I don't know if it's worth me. I'm not gonna break all my walls, but if there's money in that hollow spot, there's probably money in all these. That's exactly how it was where I had the other hole.
I don't want to repeat more. That whole house would be stripped to the bones. Oh, look the way she runs. Oh, 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 you remember. Great job, awesome. I can't believe people still think animals don't have feelings.
China has luxury minivans, and I'm obsessed. This is the Denza D9, and you know something's luxurious whenever you get in and it sounds like this. I get a 50-watt wireless charging pad, and I can close the door using this screen. My headrests are also adjustable, my seats are heated, ventilated, and massaging. I get a screen here, another one there, and if I want to video chat somebody, I just push this. But there's more. I get cup holders here on the side. I have more cup holders right up here. I have storage space here. And a cooler right in there. I can also heat this area to keep my food nice and warm. And if I need a place to eat it, I have a built-in table, a built-in cup holder, and if I don't want glare on this screen, I have a built-in sunscreen shade. It's lunchtime, baby. I can also fully recline here in the back, and if I want to take a nap, I can do this. Guanzhe Yonglin. The front headrests are also adjustable. My seats are heated, ventilated, and massaging. I get wood here on my dash. I got a touchscreen that works super fast. I have a wireless charging pad, this gorgeous shifter, and I have fragrances that blow out of the vents. I also get a built-in dash cam, an interior camera to keep an eye on the kids, or I can take family photos. If you don't want the camera watching you, I can always block it. I also get a head-up display, a digital display, and built-in karaoke.
No way.
It's also an all-wheel drive plug-in hybrid that can do 110 miles on just the battery and 596 miles combined. It's pretty sweet.
This is just a knockoff Toyota Alphard or a Toyota Hellfire.
CIA used this song to torture terrorists. Hour after hour and day after day, the music blared through the speakers and the detainees couldn't escape the relentless assault on their senses. Sleep deprivation, disorientation, and sheer frustration set in. Although the band was pissed when they found out, the lead guitarist said, "We've been punishing our parents, our wives, and our loved ones with this music forever. Why should the Iraqis be any different?" But they went on to forbid the use of Enter the Sandman for interrogation purposes ever again.
Thing is Enter Sandman, not Enter the Sandman.
I would get rid of every single thing in my life willingly just to have 5 minutes of a conversation with Jesus Christ. If he's like, yo, we could have 5 minutes timed, no minute more, 5 minutes, one-on-one, me and you are talking, but for the rest, you're gonna be living in the jungles eating bugs until you die. I'll be like, bro, make it 3 minutes. Make it 3 minutes. I'll eat those bugs with a smile on my face. I'll look at everybody else saying, Hakuna Matata. What a wonderful place.
What would you ask him in those 3 minutes?
Great question.
That's.
I think the first thing I would say is everything I'm grateful for. And then I think the second thing I would ask him is, could you reveal to me the things I should be grateful for that I don't know?
You can literally spend 5 minutes in prayer with him.
Watch this video with me because this explains exactly why God's ways are much greater than ours. Let's play it.
One day, a man decided to travel by ship with his friends. While in the middle of their journey, the boat began to sink. All drowned, except this man. He reached a small island and built a straw hut, surviving on fruits and herbs. Weeks passed. Each night, he lit a fire for warmth. One night, he woke to find his hut ablaze. He cried out, "God, why are you so cruel? You took everything, and now this." At dawn, a boat appeared. The captain said, "We saw your fire and came to rescue you. The man fell to his knees, asking God's forgiveness. He boarded the boat, reuniting with his family. Moral: God has many ways to solve our problems. Keep faith and hope, even in suffering.
If you like good Christian content like this, consider following and subscribing for more.
Disclaimer: AI. Anyway, God is good all the time.
How do you assess what happened to Mr. Assange? Is it a reflection of free media in your country?
We're not here to discuss
No,
my
let's
country.
discuss.
No.
Let's discuss.
No, President
In order
Aliyev.
to accuse me, saying that Armenians will not have free media here, let's talk about Assange. How many years he spent in Ecuadorian embassy, and for what? And where is he now? For journalistic activity. You kept that person hostage, actually killing him morally and physically. You did it, not us, and now he's in prison. So you have no moral right to talk about free media when you do these things.
Returning to the conflict, how
Yeah,
long...
better return to the conflict, because this is not what you like. You like only to accuse. But look at the mirror. Look, I tell many times, before coming and lecturing us, if you're so democratic and so objective, why you keep Assange in prison? For what?
Mr. Assange case has been the biggest shame of West.
Seems like everyone is just as excited about the Encyclopedia Britannica set that I got as I am. And a lot of people have been asking to actually see the dates on the front of them so they can verify that that is exactly what they are. And I can understand that. So here's what I got.
Ooh.
All right. Encyclopedia Britannica, 11th edition. You look down here, the 11th edition was published in 29 volumes, 1910 and 1911. Most of the books were printed in 1910, but some of the later volumes, and this is the index for it, which is one of the last volumes. This is the 29th book in that set, was printed in 1911. And then on top of the 29 original volumes in that set, these are the 3 new volumes which were printed in 1922. And they basically are a companion to that original set. They're actually the 12th. It's the 11th edition and 3 new volumes. These were printed in 1922. And I have those 3 as well. But these 3 will not show up in the index of the original version. So I have to look through each one of these individually. So when someone said, I'm going to be the busiest guy on TikTok, they weren't lying. I've been doing this for the last 6 hours straight. And I'm here for it. All right. So this is what it looks like going through the index to find what it is you're looking for in all of the volumes. And it can be quite the rabbit hole.
Ooh.
What I'm looking for is mercury, because many people ask for red mercury. But whenever you start to go down this rabbit hole, it is just never ending. You got the Merovingians. And what this tells you right here, it tells you it's in the 18th volume, page 172D, which is this section of the page. Then you have Merlin right here.
Wow.
Round Table, Stonehenge. I mean, you could just go on and on and on. And whenever you get to Mercury, it shows you all these different sections that are talking about Mercury. Now, might red Mercury be in one of these? For sure it might be. And then look, America. America is a kingdom in England.
America.
I mean, it just goes forever. The rabbit hole is almost endless whenever it comes to this. So here's just a couple things of interest that I found within the index that I'm going to be looking up. We got Tartarian lamb, we got the World Fair, we got the Orsini's, the Rothschilds, Israel, the 12 tribes, Israel in Egypt, the Templars, Illuminate, which the Illuminati are under, Firmament, Antarctica. I know everyone's asking about Antarctica, asking for Antarctica, and I understand, believe me. But this is only probably a third of actually how many listings it has in there. It's going to have to be a live or a long series to actually get all that information out. But I am working on it, believe me. And there's just, all of this is actually in the books. I just have to go through and read it. So I hope that answers the questions about what the books are, when they were printed, and what it takes to get the information out of these books. And I know you guys want it. So later on today, I'm going to be posting a video about the Illuminati. So stay tuned. I love you all. Stay blessed.
Is this book for sale? I would love to buy a copy.
Does anybody know what this is? The Shenyun dancers, whatever.
Hi, so I believe this video is long overdue, but my name is Angela and I auditioned for Shenyun when I was 16. I had been a part of the religious cult associated with Shenyun since I was 5 years old, so about 18 years. So before I actually start, I'm just asking for a little bit of empathy about this subject. It's not really easy to admit that you've spent half of your life, almost half of your life, in a cult. Falun Gong in particular preys on people's fears of death and gives them a strong sense of community and purpose, which is why it's so easy for people to become invested in the beginning. On to the topic of Shenyun.
Has anybody ever actually gone to that?
I have. I've been to many shows since age 8. Shenyun started as a New Year's spectacular show in 2006. It was made by practitioners or members of Falun Gong for the general public to talk about the cult, to spread the word. Initially, it was just a couple of practitioners or members, coming together and creating a show just for the fun of it. But eventually, the creator of the cult, or the leader, Master Lee, came in and he started to run it. What you need to know is that members of Falun Gong believe that Master Lee is a god. He can do anything. He is the creator of the universe. And so it was kind of a big deal when he stepped in to take over Shenyun. So how do they get the money for advertisements and productions, you say? They're donated by the practitioners. By the time I auditioned when I was 16, 8 years ago, they had 5 productions, 5 different groups touring the world at the same time. I see a lot of people asking where all the money for the advertisement comes from, but I rarely ever see anybody ask where they get all these young dancers. Dancers for Shenyun are allowed to apply starting 14 years old, and a lot of these practitioners' parents push their kids to become dancers and musicians for Shenyun because working close to the creator or the leader of the cult, Master Lee, is seen as a form of honor. So from these exploited, dedicated followers, Shenyun gets an endless supply of money and labor for free. People who are doing the work and who are donating the money do not think that they are being exploited because they think that they will actually get something along the lines of good karma in return. I have read almost all the articles regarding Falun Gong, both criticizing and praising it for various reasons, and the one thing that I see that it lacks is a sense of individuality for the people within the group. When you see a group of people with such extreme beliefs, it's easy to lump them all into one hive mind. But in reality, they're all individuals with varying opinions and beliefs and passions, personalities. Many of them are not aware that they're being manipulated and lied to, and a lot are doubting and trying to find ways out. Again, I'm just hoping that you will approach this subject with just a bit of kindness and understanding. I know that the people in Shenyun and Falun Gong can be really annoying. I was once one of those people. Thank you for listening if you made it this far, and if you have any questions, please let me know. I'm happy to answer them.
Shenyun was a cult. I saw ads on YouTube and it looked completely normal. Anyone would be fooled.
A lot of these super athletes that I work with are missing one of the 3 simple basics: 8 essential amino acids, 2 essential fatty acids, omega-3 fatty acids, 91 essential minerals. You can get a simple full spectrum amino acid supplement, 8 essential amino acids, a very simple black seed oil or fish or plant-based omega-3 fatty acid, and you can get a mineral salt. My favorite is called Baja Gold, B-A-J-A. I think it's the best $5 biohack you'll ever have. And that bag of salt will last you 5 years. And it has all 91 trace minerals in it. You remineralize the body. You put the sodium, the potassium, the magnesium,
You just
the
put it into
molybdenum.
water, do you?
Yeah, you take a half a teaspoon, you put it in 8 ounces of water first thing in the morning, you stir it, and you whack it back. And that's the first thing you do in the morning. Mineralize and hydrate the body. Then take 2 fatty acids, the two EPA and DHA fatty acids that you need, and then make sure that you supplement with an amino acid supplement, not a protein supplement. Because most people think that amino acids are proteins. They're not. They're the building blocks of proteins. We've also been lied to that we can target direct protein, right? Like we can take collagen, for example, to grow collagen in our skin.
All right, folks, thank you for staying till the end. Be kind to each other. If you haven't subscribed, please do. And don't forget to like or dislike so I can make a better content. There's a free gift below. And if you want to buy me coffee or support me through Patreon, the links are in the description below. Have a prosperous day and God bless.